toxic mother makes a bid for full custody.
She reported that her mother speaks negatively about her father and stepmother often. She recalled hearing her mother say that her father was not a very good person and that he was kicked out of the Army. Did you tell your daughter that?
She also wants the judge to order that the kids stop calling their stepmom mom, since they already have a mom.
So you want the judge to order these children who may want to call their stepmom mom, that they can't do that? Is that what you're asking?
They have a mom.
But the judge gives the kids to the dad and stepmom instead.
The court is going to flip custody. The children are going to live primarily with dad.
So like I said, are you objecting to the stepmom having any involvement with the children? Or regarding aspects of children with school, extracurricular activities?
I'm objecting to her not having educational authority and or rights.
Okay. Now, also you're asking the court to order that the children not call their stepmom mom. Is that right?
That's right.
So you want the judge to order these children who may want to call their stepmom mom, that they can't do that? Is that what you're asking?
They have a mom.
Your oldest daughter reported that you disparage dad and stepmother on a regular basis. And then the youngest, she is aware her parents do not talk to one another because they do not get along. She reported that her mother speaks negatively about her father and stepmother often. She recalled hearing her mother say that her father was not a very good person and that he was kicked out of the Army. Did you tell your daughter that?
No, ma'am, I would never.
Okay, so the court has issue with the children reporting something, and then you're coming to court saying that you never said it. So it's either the children are being untruthful or you are being untruthful. So I'm giving you the opportunity to say, which one is it? Is it that your children are not telling the truth, or is it that you're not telling the truth? Because these children are different ages. They were interviewed separately, and they said almost the same thing, not that specifically about him being a bad person, but both of them reported that you speak negatively about dad and stepmother, and that they, referring me saying they is father and stepmother, never says anything negative about you all.
I understand, Your Honor, and I have read through it, and I am disheartened that at that time frame of when my children were interviewed, that was at the peak of when David and I were, when there was a lot of domestic violence happening. I do know when others were involved, such as his wife or my mother, the information was shared with them from him and his wife to my kids, so that when the conversations that I'd have with my mother about certain things, my kids were around.
Yeah, they talked about that too, that you and their grandmother argue frequently. So I'm going to ask the question again because maybe you missed it. Are the children being untruthful, or are you being untruthful? Because somebody is not telling the truth.
I'm going to tell you that I have never said to their kids that their dad is anything negative. However, I have said things where we don't get along. We struggle with co-parenting. There is a reason why we do have counseling with Genesis specifically. I do want them to feel like they can advocate. I do want them to recognize, when abuse is happening. I have said those things. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you do realize today, at least, that some of the things you have said to your children are inappropriate.
I apologize.
They can advocate for themselves without you saying anything about dad, and saying things like recognizing when abuse is happening. For a child, you're almost making them believe that something is wrong with their dad without saying it. I'm a parent too. So I have to be careful what I say, especially around my 6-year-old, because she interprets things a lot differently than an adult would. So what I'm not saying or the things that I am saying, does that make sense?
You're absolutely right. Because as an educator, I do understand. I do understand that the way that I engage in any conversation or engage with whatever related topic there is, that I have to be more intentional. And you're absolutely right.
Okay, and then your youngest daughter also is concerned, like these were her words, that you put a lot of blame on dad when a lot of it is you. This is what your children are saying.
I know,
There-
I know what it is that being said, but also, Your Honor, we do have to, for some reason, and I don't know why, for some reason, it was not added on there, the reasoning behind why my children and I have sought before all of us, initial support from counseling because domestic violence is happening. So we do also have to consider that my children are being, manipulated and weaponized in a way that they don't understand, just as much as they don't understand like the things that I say and take things in a different context. The same thing with whenever they're with dad, when dad manipulates the situation, makes things more chaotic, so then they feel that they have to, interpret it and,
Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting manipulated? You use very specific words, manipulated and weaponized, because the report that I'm reading, that's essentially what they're saying you're doing, not dad.
I know.
And you said something else about, things being in the child's best interest. You said this earlier on when you were talking about your daughter and the reward she was able to receive from school. So clearly you understand things in their best interest. They love their stepmother. You don't believe it would be in their best interest to have a healthy relationship with the both of you, and referring to her as mom doesn't make you any less of mom?
I would love to be able to have a co-parenting relationship with her. However, when I have reached out to her prior to, she called me some inappropriate names. Just recently, she was trying to start a fight with me for no reason during the exchange. It is though they have created some, animosity and vindictiveness against me when I really want to try to co-parent with them. But you also have to remember, Your Honor, it is difficult to co-parent with an abuser. And I really am saddened that the evaluator didn't take the initiative to make sure that that was in the evaluation, because that was the whole intent behind it.
Okay, so as far as the court concerned, you all are joint managing conservators. Okay, so for the modification purposes, and I'm not saying that whatever you're saying didn't happen to you. I'm not trying to discredit it. What I'm saying is by law, you all cannot be joint managing conservators if abuse has occurred. You all are joint managing conservators. And I can only go off of the history of the file because I've read everything all the way back to you all's underlying court order, okay? The one that's currently in place. And it seems like these girls would be happier and would be much healthier mentally if you were not doing some of the things that you are doing. And I'm not saying that dad is perfect, because nobody is perfect. None of the parents on this Zoom are perfect. However, when you do things to kids to make them think that one parent is bad, and the parent that you're trying to make seem bad is remarried, and you're also trying to make that person seem bad when they have a good relationship, you are contributing to the failure in communication and co-parenting. And as the judge, I have the task of making sure that I make rulings that are not only founded in the law, but that are in the best interest of the children. And based on the history of this file that I'm looking at, I do not believe it is in the best interest of the children for you to be the primary conservator, because as the primary conservator, I have to believe that that person that I designate as that is going to be the best to facilitate the co-parenting relationship. And I do not believe that is you. So what the court is going to do is the court is going to flip custody. The children are going to live primarily with dad, and they are going to do the expanded standard. And I believe that's in their best interest, because the girls said that they want to be with the both of you equally. They are saying to me through this report that they love both of their parents, and they do not like the breakdown in communication. They essentially don't like being put in the middle. That's what the court is going to do today, because that is in their best interest. You all are not to disparage each other at all in any form or fashion. The co-parenting app is there for a reason. It's there to assist you all, not for you to be codependent on it. That defeats the whole purpose of co-parenting. So, and I'm not going to order that these children do not call stepmom mom. I personally don't even like using the word stepmom, because you both are parents. Everybody is a parent. Anyone who takes up the parental role is a parent. I don't think that's in their best interest to do that to them, to take that away from them. They have a good relationship with stepmom, with Mrs. Bravo, and the court would like to see it flourish. That's healthy for them.